this is Annette with Annette's Astrological, and this is your energetic reading for Saturday, March 26th. And today, okay, so we're gonna probably have an off morning, to say the least. Now, I am on Pacific time, so all of this time frame is regarding people who live in the Pacific time frame or can figure out the difference. But so the moon in Scorpio is going to quincunx Mercury in Aries all day, but for the morning until about 6 p.m. and of course that specific time that I'm referring to, the sun is also going to be quincunxing the moon. So the moon is how we feel. The sun is our is what our soul aligns with, what our desire is. It's kind of like our internal drive. And then Mercury is the way we think. Now the sun and Mercury are in ego. They're in immediate needs and desires. They're in feeling good right now. What am I interpreting my environment to be? How does everything in my environment feel? Because you've got the moon in Scorpio, and the moon in Scorpio is really intensifying the ego's desires and the way that you think about what is feeding your ego. And ego is important to align yourself with. I always kind of say that if you're making ego-based decisions, you can be making foolhardy. That's true, but for some of us, we need to have ego be fed. It's healthy to have a healthy ego. It's when ego falls out of balance that we have to reassess. Whoa, dial back. Are we considering the good for all, or are we just considering the good for ourselves? In this energy, however, this is going to be connecting you with how intense it feels for you. So whatever is motivating you, your desires and the way that you think and emotionally motivating you, is going to be ramped up by a quincunx. And that quincunx is very important because that's opposition. That's flat out. That's a very, very unpleasant energy to feel, especially when it's in Scorpio, at a Scorpio moon, because the Scorpio moon is very, very, you feel everything magnified and intense. It ramps up the intensity. And when Aries energy falls into a quincunx, it falls into the negative forms of vibration, so which it's very impatient, restless, demanding, argumentative, judgmental. It's very I'm feeling this, you need to hear about it. Very, very intense energy combined with this whole Scorpio thing. So an off morning for some of you could just make you just pissed all day long. You are going to have a mood, especially if anything has been attached to your ego in the morning. Anything that made you feel mad in the morning, it's going to make you feel mad all frackin' day. Then you're going to want to make everybody pay and feel as intentionally terrible as you do, because that's ego. That's what we do when we have an ego issue. So today, your thoughts are going to be difficult to control. If an emotional issue arises in the morning, perhaps someone said something off the cuff that did not feel good or caused you to doubt their commitment to an outcome that you feel is very, very important. This is something that you are aligning with. This is something that you are seeing as part of your identity. If something comes off, if somebody says something, and people, when Aries starts to drop into our energy and it starts to influence us, Aries energy it's like the little kid. It's like this. I have this story. It's a terrible story, but it was a good teaching story. Where I live, we do not have a lot of Black people. Of course, you go over to or African American people, whatever's the politically correct form. But if you go over to Portland, there's tons of them. But it just so happened I lived in the country, and so my children had never seen very many African Americans. So we're in this line and we go through this checkout line, and my son says to me, Mommy, why is that person's skin all dirty? I could have died. I was like, oh my God. I felt, first of all, like a terrible parent that I had never showed them cultures, a multicultural environment. that was plaguing my head. But then I was humiliated for the fact that, for one thing, I can't stand any sort of bigotry whatsoever, or judgmental people judging based on appearances or skin or anything like that. That's just the lowest form of humanity as far as I'm concerned. But that my own kid did not like, I didn't reinforce enough culture into my child. And so I said, and the lady that was in front of me was amazing. She's like, it's okay. And I said, I am so humiliated and I'm so sorry. And I said, look at her skin. It's so beautiful. Look at it, feel it. And this lady was so sweet. And she let me just really teach my son a lesson about no filter. So sometimes people just say things. Little children say things. They say every single thing they think, which is good, because thank God it was a great teaching tool for me to then teach my child about don't ever say that ever again, and change his mindset. That was very, very narrow-minded, only because his mother had not exposed him to enough culture and diversity. So you're going to have that kind of energy. The reason why I brought up the child story is because this is going to be the kind of energy where you just say whatever in your freaking mind at the time. It's very, very immediate. A thought comes in, words come out. It's not, you don't think things through. You don't think about the ramifications. You don't think about the consequences sometimes of what you're saying and what you're doing in this type of energy. And so there's a sense that you may regret what you say as soon as it comes out, but that doesn't matter. Neither the less. It's good, because again, those are teaching tools. If we look at everything in a high form of vibration, we can say, wow, you have this very limiting mindset over here. We need to talk about this, because the reality is that doesn't jive with me. And so this is then a teaching tool, or it opens up conversations that are very, very relevant to have, because the reality is you may not want to align yourself with that type of mindset. And if that person is very regimented in that mindset, then that's probably, we need to reassess if we want to be around people with those mindsets, and even be devoting ourselves or any significant period of time with somebody with those types of mindsets. So egos may clash. It may get very, very heated. Especially understand that person that's having that ego-based response, you're feeling the same type of ego. So you have a bruised ego, this person has a bruised ego, lots of stuff are being said that are not being well thought out. So don't let yourself fall into these poor ego-based decision-making, this ego-based decision-making time period, because you're gonna probably regret what you're saying, because it's just magnified by energy right now. You may be very impatient and quite defensive in this energy. If you have that off morning where nothing seems to go right and it just magnifies and intensifies everything, your day is just off. This doesn't even have to be an interaction with a person. It could be a significant partnership or somebody that you share resources with. It could be like a roommate or a partner. However, it doesn't have to be. It could just be your morning, you wake up and it's like you snag your nylons, or your hair won't go right, or your makeup doesn't go on right, or a person keeps cutting you off, or every time you go to take a turn, somebody is just really slow in front of you, and everything just pisses you off, right? You just attract negativity before you know it, you have an entirely negative day. Positive form of vibration. If you really want to elevate yourself, really want to concentrate on the things that I consider, I really talk myself into energy when energy feels this intense, because I want to identify that's ego, but this is where I want my mind to be, which is in Mercury, which is conjunct with the sun right now, which is trining Mars and trining Saturn. Saturn's in retrograde, slowing down, reflecting before you say anything. It is about having control. It's about relaxing in this energy and looking at, I literally have, I told you guys this before, I have a list of traits that is my Aries moon, and the low form of it, and I have it up on my cubicle. And if I attach to any of those negative things, I know I'm being ego-based in a negative way. So, to stay in a high vibration, you will have to release the pressure valve on all this intense energy. Very, very important for you to do. When energy feels like this, and there's just an intensity, there could be an intensity for no reason. You got up wrong. Maybe you slept through the alarm. Maybe you hit the snooze button too long, and now you're running late and you're impatient as hell. Remember that a trine in energy is better than a quincunx. So we want to ease our tensions. We want to have the belief system and the faith that whatever comes up is okay. It's just okay. There are times when I have to laugh at my continuous bad luck because I'm like, what a fracking day, man. And you have to, because you'll go cuckoo in it, and I'll Aries moon out, and I'll just want to kick a bunch of ass if I don't do this. So physical activity is a great high vibration in this energy. Both Sagittarius and Aries energy loves to be physically fit, and even a good Scorpio really loves to get out there sometimes and just spar for no reason. So this is great energy for you, that if any of you play any sort of competitive games, competitive sports, a good game of basketball, a good game of, volleyball, anything that just gets you out there and really interacted, that's going to really align you. Stay busy will give you a sense of accomplishment. Tend to the daily tasks, do the duties. Jupiter, to me, expands potential. In a high vibration, even though it's still in retrograde, it's attending to the small details. Just pay attention to everything that takes your mind off of where it was previously at. Do something super fun and social. That is Aries energy and Sagittarius energy in its highest form. Have conversations, go have fun. If it turns out that even that source is that it just gets to be a little debatable, I would stay away from harsh debates or debates that really, like if you want to debate about Donald Trump, I mean, that would not be good energy to be doing right now. It might be best, for me to debate about, astrology versus science, or something that's super interesting and I can be kind of witty in, but not over opinionated in. That's the kind of energy that I encourage. I discourage anything that has to do with getting what you want at all costs. You're pissed. You're reinforcing your beliefs. You're shoving your ideas down somebody's throat. You're done. If you start to have a day like that, you can control and manifest any energy that you get yourself into, if you just isolate what it is you're attaching to. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette Astrological, and I look forward to talking to you guys